In today's episode, I'm going to share 7 things that therapists need to know to beat the Instagram algorithm. But before we get into it, I want to start by setting the record straight. The Instagram algorithm is not out to get you, it is there to help you. If and only if you help Instagram grow their business. So let me explain. Instagram is a business. It is in the best interest of Instagram to keep people on the Instagram app. So they are not out to get you. Instagram even made a post recently saying that they are actively trying to help smaller accounts grow and are prioritizing them in the algorithm. I did a whole reel on it. I'll go ahead and link it in the show notes if you want to watch that. But the way that the algorithm works is that it focuses on what keeps people on the Instagram app, right? So the algorithm is looking at watch time, meaning how long are people actually watching the reel that you post? It's looking at, are people engaging? Are they staying on your content all the way through? Is it starting a conversation in the comments or the DMs? At the core of it, really, the Instagram algorithm cares about human behavior, which is honestly amazing for therapists because we are experts in human behavior, right? You know how humans behave. So you really just need to start paying attention to that, and you will hack the algorithm in no time. So if you're not growing the way that you want to grow on Instagram, I think that there's kind of 2 things that you need to do. Number one is level set your expectations, right? So are you watching stories of people who went like crazy mega viral and trying to make the exception the norm for yourself, right? And you're kind of like expecting growth too quickly. Or if you're like, no, my expectations are kind of realistic, I don't understand why I'm not growing the way that I want, then I think that you probably need to make better or different content. So genuinely ask yourself, like, go to your page and try and be as neutral as possible. Would you follow yourself, right? Would you stop scrolling if you came across this reel in your feed? Would you go and seek out your stories every day and watch them? If the answer is no, I want you to keep listening because I have 7 tips for you. Okay, so let's get into it. The 7 tips that you need to know to beat the Instagram algorithm. Number 1, Reels have been a priority since they came out at the end of 2020. So you need to be making Reels, right? Instagram has said this time and time again. This is not just my opinion. Instagram is prioritizing Reels in the algorithm. You can see it yourself too, right? If you go to your homepage, you open up the Instagram app and you scroll, a large majority of the content that you're going to see is Reels. And the reason why Instagram is prioritizing Reels is because people, the humans on the other side of the Instagram app, like to watch Reels, right? They are really entertaining. It's easier to tell a story with them. They're more visually interesting. You know, people watch them and they spend more time on them. And so therefore, Instagram shows them to more people because remember, Instagram's goal is always to keep people on the app for as long as possible. So if we know that people like Reels and we know that the Instagram algorithm is prioritizing them, that means that you need to be making Reels. Not to mention, they're also really, really good at building connection with your audience, right? Because Reels give people the chance for people to get to know you, to like you, and to trust you because they can actually see your face and they can hear your voice. And this is really important for anybody who's trying to build a business on Instagram. But as a therapist, forget it. This is so, so, so important. Your number one job is to build connection with people, right? And Reels are so valuable at that. It helps you to build rapport before you even get to the first session, right? So with your Reels, you have the opportunity to help people trust you, to feel seen, and to feel validated. And you guys know that the number one factor that influences how successful people are in therapy is the relationship that they have with their therapist, right? And so I cannot stress this enough that Reels are so, so, so helpful with developing a relationship with people, building that know, like, and trust factor, and that is like mandatory as a therapist. Okay, number 2 thing that you need to know. If you are making Reels and you are not getting the results you want, you need to be more specific in your content. I'm going to repeat that again. If you are making Reels already and you are not getting the results you want, you need to be more specific. So I want you to use your clients' words. The best opportunity to do that is to listen to what your clients are saying, right? Listen to what they're saying in session, listening to what they're saying in intro calls, and reflect it back to them in your Instagram content. Pay attention on Instagram too, right? So if you post like a question box in your stories, that is a great indicator of how people are actually wording their questions, wording their concerns, wording their thoughts. If people are DMing you stuff, read their DMs, put them in like a notes app or save screenshots on your phone or something and use those as content ideas. Go through your comments. If you're not getting a ton of comments, go to comments of another therapist who has a bigger account who's getting like actual people versus just therapists commenting on their stuff, and read their comments. Look for ideas there, right? Ask your friends who are also your ideal client. So I'm always running like 3 options of things past my girls group chat because all my friends are anxious millennial women, right? So I want to give you an example of this. I posted a reel the other day when I was in Europe, and the hook said, like, meaning the text on screen for the reel, said, because I was raised in the 90s when it was totally normal to tell a little girl at dance class to suck it in, when the tabloids made me afraid of getting cellulite like Britney, and when going on the Special K diet was a fun thing to do with your friends. Now, this is super specific, right? I heard these examples from multiple clients and sessions over the years of, being told to suck it in, being a dancer, how hard that was. And I also experienced that, right? It's a shared experience. I was texting my girlfriends about which diet I should call out specifically because I wanted something that was universal, that people knew what it was. So I was like, should I do Special K? Should I do Atkins? Should I do that like 3-day diet thing? Your words and your specificity matter, right? So I could have said for this reel, because I was raised in the 90s when everyone struggled with their body image and relationship with food. But that's not that specific, right? That's not how real people talk. They don't say, oh, I have bad body image and a hard relationship with food. They say, when I was little, I was told to suck it in a dance class and that fucked me up. Or, I used to do Special K diet with all my friends. Or, I can't believe they were insulting Britney Spears' body. I thought that she was like goals, and all of a sudden they're, picking apart her cellulite. Like, if you can talk like that, if you can talk how real people talk and how they relate to, your reels are going to do so, so, so much better. Okay, number 3 thing you need to learn is to get more personal. Now, I know, I get it, don't run away. Therapists are afraid of self disclosure. We were taught to be a blank slate. But in the world of ChatGPT, AI, honestly, like copycats, everyone is saying the same thing on Instagram. And so you need to show up as you. The more that you can infuse your story and show people that you get them and use your voice, you are going to have such better results. And literally, to that note, use your voice, like actually talk to the camera sometime in your reels and in your stories. Because therapy is so freaking personal, right? People need to see that you are a real human and that they can talk about like the really hard things with you. That's what therapy is. They're committing to showing up and spending 45 minutes having very hard conversations. They need to know they can vibe with you. They need to know they can trust you. They need to know you won't judge them. And Instagram is that opportunity for you to build rapport with them. I want to give you some examples of what this looks like because it does not need to be that complicated and it does not need to be that personal. You should never share anything on your Instagram stories that you wouldn't feel comfortable telling a client in session. And I do want to say that I think the difference here, right, is like, yes, you wouldn't take time to tell a client in session about, a concert you went to or whatever, because that time is for them. And so, like, of course, you're going to use self-disclosure sparingly, but on Instagram, that time is about you and it's about building that relationship. And so you can share more often and more frequently than you would in session. Just the content of it should be something that, of course, you're familiar, but the content of it should be something that, of course, you would be comfortable sharing with an actual client. So I was scrolling Instagram today looking for some examples for this, and I'm going to share 2 with you. So first is from adulting_unlocked. She's a private practice academy alumni, and she was doing an Instagram story talking about how she had a tough therapy session today. She kind of had like a therapy hangover and how normal that process was. She then used a poll to ask if that was something that other people had experienced, and then she shared some tips for how to deal with that, right? Super simple. She didn't go into, what traumatic thing she was processing or what was happening in her personal life that made her therapy session challenging. But she was able to say, like, hey, I'm a human. I had therapy today. It was hard. I was processing some tough stuff. and I'm feeling kind of like shitty and emotional afterwards and drained, that's totally normal. Can you relate? And here's what I'm going to do about it, right? And so that's super simple, but it is so important for connection. Another example I want to give with you is Gabrielle. She's another private practice academy alumni. Her Instagram handle is therapist underscore who underscore sees underscore a underscore therapist. So therapist who sees a therapist with underscores in between all those words. And she put up a very simple poll asking her audience to settle a debate between her and her husband about which High School Musical movie was the best, right? Not personal at all, right? But for her audience members, who are other millennial women who watched High School Musical, they're going to feel like connected with her, right? This is really, really simple stuff, guys. Do not overthink it. This is totally ethical as a therapist on Instagram, but it is so, so, so important for building that rapport with people, and really building that community is getting more personal. Okay, thing number 4 is be a human and put the social in social media. So I want you to really think about social media as having 2 goals. Number 1 is to reach actual like potential clients and get them to want to work with you directly from Instagram. And then number 2 is to actually reach other therapists and to build a referral network who's going to send you clients from Instagram, right? So I want you to make relationships with other therapists and other helping professionals. So comment on other people's stuff meaningfully, not just like a heart, but like actually say something, like a full, complete sentence would be really helpful. Respond to their stories. Actually reply back to people when they comment on your stuff or message you. And these things are going to really help you, you know, make more relationships, make more friends, get more referrals. It's going to help you boost your content in the algorithm because Instagram is seeing that, you're getting more engagement on your stuff, and it's going to be more fun, right? Like you're just going to have a better time on Instagram when you're like building relationships, you're cheering people on, they're cheering you on. It's just a really good vibe. So if it is just therapists who are responding to your stuff at first, that is totally okay. That is totally normal. And it's one of the main goals of Instagram is to build relationships with other therapists. So please don't beat yourself up over this. I promise with due time, the other non-therapists will come. So stories, again, are such an easy way to do this and to be human and put the social in social media. So maybe try sharing your coffee or your workout or like something stupid and embarrassing that you did, something that you're looking forward to this weekend, a theme coming up in sessions. Like just share something in social media and stories, and kind of be that human for other people. Okay, number 5 is be consistent. Consistency is really, really, really important in general in business, but it is even more so important in the beginning. And I get it. That is when it is hardest for you to show up on Instagram because maybe you're just getting started and you're not totally sold on this whole Instagram thing yet. You haven't started to actually see the benefits or the payoff. And so it's easy to put Instagram last on your to-do list. But if you're not being consistent, how are you ever going to expect to see results, right? How will people get to actually know you on Instagram? How will they look forward to your content? How will they start to seek you out and share you with your friends? How are they going to seek you out and share your content with their friends? Honestly, how are you going to get good at showing up on Instagram if you're not consistently doing it and putting in the reps, right? I posted every single day for a year, and I did a little challenge for myself. I didn't just post every day. I showed my face every day for a year. So even on the days where I was just posting like a Canva graphic, I was showing my face in Instagram stories. And I did this because I wanted big results, right? I knew that I wanted that 6-figure practice my first year. I knew that I wanted to hit 10K followers that first year. And because I wanted big results, I was willing to take big action to make it happen. And now it gets to be easier, right? Now I have a following, I have a community, I have relationships with people. And so for me, consistent doesn't mean showing up 7 days a week anymore. I get to show up 3 or 4 times a week because I already have a community of people who know me, who like me, and trust me. And I've already gotten good at creating content. I know exactly what kind of content people want to see from me, and I know exactly how to reach tens of thousands of people every time I post. And so I don't need to show up 7 times a week anymore to kind of like shoot my shot and have, multiple options of things that are going to go viral. I know how to just do that on repeat. but it takes time and it takes practice and it takes that consistency in the beginning. So if you are not getting the results you want on Instagram, think about how consistent you're being and if there's opportunity for you to show up more fully for the results that you're after. Number 6, I say this with so much love, but stop creating content for other therapists and start creating content for your clients. Now, let me explain what I mean. The goal with Instagram is not to educate people and show people that you are the smartest therapist in the room or that you really know your stuff, right? The goal is to create content that your clients want to see. So, what do they need to hear? Which might be something validating and affirming for them, or it might be something spicy and kind of a call out. It's okay if you need to make people feel called out. You want to make people feel something, right? Whether it's good or bad. That's what leads to connection. It's what leads to self-awareness. It's what leads to change. So I want to give you an example of what I mean, right? If you were creating content for other therapists and you're worried about being perceived as somebody who knows their stuff and is a good therapist, maybe you make a reel that's like morning habits for mental wellness, right? And it's kind of vague and we're just showing people that you understand self-care. Now, if you're creating the same piece of content, but you're creating it for your clients, you might say something like, as a mom, these are the non-negotiables in my morning routine so I don't blow up at my kids before I get them off to school. Way more specific, way more relatable, way less, I am the expert here to teach you. You're bringing yourself into it, and it's going to have such a better impact on your clients, on the trust, on like the virality, all of it. So I think that that is a really good example of what it looks like to create content for your clients and like actual humans who are wanting this help versus other therapists and kind of like getting your ego in play. Number 7 is ManyChat. So this is a bit of a more advanced strategy, but if you already have a few thousand followers, listen up, you have got to try ManyChat. In case you're not familiar, ManyChat is an Instagram approved third-party bot that is going to automate things for you. So you've probably seen it all over Instagram. It's like people say comment and they give you a specific word and I'll send you a link. So one that I do all the time is I'm like comment training and I'll send you the link to sign up for my free webinar, right? But you can do this with anything. You can do it with a free training. You can do it with an ebook. If you're doing a reel with like 8 steps to something, you could put the first 4 steps in the reel and tell people to comment steps and that you'll send them steps 5 through 8. You could do this with a link to your blog post. You could do this with a link to like your outfit and the clothes you're wearing. The possibilities are truly endless. So let's talk about why this works so well. Number 1, you're giving people a reason to comment, right? They want something of value from you, whether it's, the training, the link, whatever, and therefore they're commenting to get it. So you're increasing your engagement by having people comment, which helps to boost your reel in the algorithm. Then after the person comments, your ManyChat bot is going to reply to that comment and say something like, awesome, I just DM'd you the link, go check it out. And that's going to boost engagement further because now you're getting not just 1 comment, but 2 comments on your reel and they're happening like that, right? You don't need to go in and reply to all your comments. I know that takes time. Sometimes you don't get to it. This is going to happen automatically for you. Then your ManyChat bot is going to DM them the thing that they asked for. And that is going to help your engagement even more because it's going to show Instagram that you guys are besties because you DM, right? So Instagram is going to see that the 2 of you are messaging back and forth. It's your ManyChat bot doing that. And that's going to boost your engagement and make you rank higher in that person's feed in the future because Instagram thinks that you guys are real life friends now and that they're going to want to see your stuff because you're DMing each other. So it's really, really a huge snowball effect. And it's had the biggest impact on my business and so many of my higher level clients that are scaling with Instagram. If you're in the early stages, you can always practice with kind of like doing the same call to action strategy manually. I actually started like this too. So you don't need to worry about like setting up ManyChat. Maybe just tell people to comment whatever keyword and you can go ahead and send it to them manually if you're getting, a handful of comments. I do have an affiliate link, which I'll include in the show notes for you, but this is not sponsored by ManyChat. Maybe one day a girl can dream. I just seriously love them. And everyone uses ManyChat. Like all of the big accounts that you love are using it. If you haven't already noticed it, pay attention and you're going to see people doing this all the time. Like even your favorite influencers, they do it with their outfits and all of that. It's whenever somebody says like comment blank keyword and I'll send it to you. So It is literally everywhere. But I don't really see anybody talking about this. It feels like it's this kind of like secret that we're all doing it, but no one's like educating on ManyChat. So let me know if you think I should do a future episode on ManyChat in particular. Send me a DM. Maybe I'll get that started for you guys. All right, I have one more bonus tip for you that I think is really going to help sum things up for you. I want you to study your own behavior, right? Put your therapist hat on. I want you to start scrolling Instagram as a researcher, as a marketer, as a content creator, not just a passive scroller who's zoning out on the couch. So I want you to pay attention to your own behavior. What kind of content do you like? What do you like about it, right? When you find yourself deep in somebody's profile and you're like been binging them for 5 minutes, I want you to go back and retrace your steps. How did you get there? What hooked you in? What made it bingeable for you? What made you keep watching? I want you to go through your DMs with your friends or with your partner. What kind of content do you send to each other, right? What kind of reels are you sending back and forth? What are you commenting on? Because at the end of the day, all the algorithm is doing is analyzing human behavior. And as therapists, we're really good at analyzing human behavior too. So you've got this. You can hack the algorithm. You have the skills that it takes to be a genius Instagram marketer. I promise you that.